Praise God. Hope all is well with you and everything connected to you and everyone connected to you is Kiana. I was going through the emotions. I was feeling things that were perception of what people view of me and what they want me to entertain. And I remember all the things I've been through. I've been through a lot of things. Unnecessary problems, hardship, struggles, tribulation. And I remember how hard it took to heal, the work it took to heal. And I remember, wait a minute, like the prodigal son reflecting on the love of his father, that his father had better for him, and a position of greatness for him, and that all from the love of his father, like the prodigal son would clean him up. That's how I remember the love of God. And I reflect on the value God wants me to walk in and how much he has love for me. And I go, you know what? I don't need to settle for less. I need that love from God first. Not even love for myself. I need love from God first. Because the love from the Father shows you how to love self. And he makes room for everything that's underneath of self. I didn't even think about when it was Father's Day. I was going through the emotions a little bit too much, and I was trying to catch it before I went heavy into it. I felt it, embraced it. But it was a good thing that I did, because I remember where God brought me from. I remember where he healed me from. I remember where he protected me from. I remember where he even let me experience a low place, but still the love of him. It didn't stop him from protecting and guiding me and also renewing me, even in the midst of having hardships and tribulation. It's no such thing as forgetting God's will. When you see the grace upon your life and upon others, there's no such thing forgetting it. There's no such thing. It's not even possible. The more you forget about God's will, the more you become full of your flesh and this carnal thinking. And what's in front of you is more entertaining than what God has for you. That's the start of the problems. But what the root of a lot of the problems is carrying brokenness from ones who didn't love source first. What is my message today to you? Don't you dare forget your first love. The love of the Father. The love from the Holy Spirit. It doesn't matter how far gone you've been gone from him. He has plans for your pain. He has plans for your tribulation you suffered. It awakens wisdom and sharpens your discipline. It works out for your good if you surrender to his will and acknowledge how much he loves you. Mama and daddy can't travel through time to protect you and guide you and make provision for your life, but God can. And he does. Even when it doesn't look great, it doesn't look perfect, picture perfect. Oh, he has a mighty plan. He has mighty works. When you surrender and acknowledge how much the love God has for you is big and wide. Just acknowledging the grace of God alone. The grace of God goes in places and atmospheres that are not holy. Let's be real. Let me be real. The grace of God goes and reach out to souls who are not deserving of it. The grace of God, the mercy of God. He catches one when they're falling apart. And if he catches you before you fall apart, you in good hands. You in better hands than Allstate. You in great hands. But it's time to surrender. It's time to surrender. It's time to get your joy back. It's time to walk in correct alignment. It's time to be healed and fulfilled. It's time to make room for the manifestations of God in your life, but also know more intimately the love of the Father in the most intimate way. I don't want, it's all a good bit of my fulfillment. It goes back to like how I was as a child. I wanted a balance of a healthy communication of a good intake, a good give and take. Right? When you don't have a support system, wickedness from other atmospheres and from different environments take advantage of that. But as a solid support system, when you surrender to God, that man cannot even manipulate or control. A lot of the times, they don't even have the focus to acknowledge it. This is my real testimony, right? Because before I entertained a lot of sin that brought me away from God, I was dealing with trauma and insecurity and doubt. I was carrying it, but I wasn't really living for Him. You know, I had my moments where I would slip up, or I didn't have a sharpened discipline, or I didn't have much experience to embrace wisdom. Wisdom doesn't just support your gift and protect you, it enhances everything about you. Because that's the favor from God that's upon you, that God wants you to grow in. I wish I'd go back in at my younger self. I would have a long talk. Like, nah, we gonna change up a lot of things. You don't know who you are. You don't know how God sees you. It gonna blow your mind by how God sees you. If I could go back in time and tell myself this, I probably would. Every bit of fiber and blood and protein and sweat. I will go back and have a long heart-to-heart with myself. So, the grace of God, I didn't really appreciate because I was lukewarm. I was entertaining what was in front of me. And I want just completeness in my relationships, in my status, and yet I will go through tribulation, and the very thing I will pray for, it will be tribulation surrounding it. What do you do when God answers the prayers? He brings fulfillment with it, but it's tribulation around it. That you have to search for God and just love on God. The love of God cleanses the things that are corrupted. So many things He brings our way to test our character, our motives, our agendas, but also to get our mind focused on Him. Do you know how many people, when I was broken and lost and lukewarm, how many people loved and took advantage of me helping them, but they did not want to give what I gave them back? What I gave them was genuine, but they didn't want to give me back what was due of genuine acts and works and from their character. And yet these will be the same people who want to be first in my life. From different environments, different relationships, different bonds. How can you treat me like trash, but then you want me to follow along with what your motive is? You know, when you're young and naive and blind and dumb and you want love, you fall for the tricks. But when you get older, you can see through it. When you get older, you can see through it. And not only you can see through it, you can see that spirit where it comes from and where it's attached to. I was so upset with individuals that operate out of lust and then thinking I'm going to operate out of lust, or I'm going to put up with what they're offering. And I'm just done. I'm done. I'm not trying to debate with people, hey, that old ways of myself is dead and gone. They don't acknowledge it, cool. But with that same acknowledgement of ignoring, they can ignore the hell out of me, move on with their life. I'm not putting nothing above God. That's my point. When you operate out of lust, that lustful act goes before God. That lustful lover wants to be an idol and be as important as God. Every connection that has an importance, that wants you to go the extra mile, they want to be just as important as God. The moment you get serious with source, with the Holy Spirit, then it's a problem. The moment you get serious with calling out wickedness and healing from your own wickedness, it's a problem. The moment you choose to be sold out to God and for righteousness, is a problem. The moment you choose to walk in accountability, it's a problem. The moment you choose to stand on boundaries and have some standards about yourself, it becomes a real problem. A loud, aggressive problem. Because with the love of the Father, I had to forgive the same man who created me, yet who abandoned me. And I also had to forgive these men that's now standing in their authority and power and leading correctly, but also remind me so much of my Father. I'm not repeating this crap no more. This is a loud announcement. They need to go find someone else to play with. I'm not concerned about whose feelings are hurt, ego, image, because it's not digging at no one's personal life, but it's an agenda they participate in. But not only the agenda people participate in, it's the spirit realm as well. I deserve real love. And that's what the Father, the love of the Father remind me of. I deserve real love without crazy strings attached and third parties and devaluing my calling, my identity, my work, telling me how strong I should be and play on my weaknesses. No. And half of these people ain't cleaning up their own doggone life. No. Carry your own load. Carry your own load and heal. Stop projecting on others. They don't remember the love of the Father, but they remember handouts the government give them. Oops, I wasn't supposed to say that. Actually, the temperature, the time, it's about time I say these things. It's about time a lot of people remove their masks and heal. And leave folk alone who want to heal, for them to discover the love of God for themselves. If you choose to operate out of ego, that's not my responsibility to entertain that foolishness. I do not want that destruction lined up behind it. You are alone. Along with those lustful acts and thoughts. You are alone. So you go back to the one who paying you and get those lustful acts fulfilled from them. I'm not your Burger King. I don't owe no one no explanation if I want to be sold out to God and heal and grow and heal from everything, every bit of trauma, every bit of brokenness, every bit of toxic relationships that I was in, situations. Oh my God, Jesus. But I choose to heal. That's my prerogative. I don't owe nobody no explanation. No is no. And I can stand on that and walk on that. But the moment I'm serious about it, it's a problem. No, it's going to reveal. The Holy Spirit going to reveal how much you're a problem, how much you're toxic, how much you're corrupted, how much you don't love source. You don't love yourself. You love money and greed. The very thing you participate in is one of the things God hates. Your whole agency is cursed. And you're cursing the people you pay. You don't think so? Keep living. You got ego. You got people to get along with you, to accept you. You get high for these drugs. But the moment you can reflect on your actions, you can't control how people treat you. You can't control how people treat others about you in connections with you. Some of the most greedy, hateful, mean-spirit people are empty. And thinking ego and pride and money is going to lift them up. And these are men. I'm not talking down on men, but these are men who should be leading, who should be healing, who should be growing. And who the hell is you to tell me who I am not or who I am not worthy to be? Even if you help create me in this world, you're not God. But you need God, just like a lot of people struggling or broken do. The same men you send my way try to play so an importance and so important that they won't replace God. There's no man that's worthy to do that. I only want to respect all the people that you have working in your agency. I don't want no attachments to them though. But they're missing a lot from their higher self. They're missing a lot of love. They're missing a lot of purpose and fulfillment in their life. And you're not even worthy to come in between that. You cursing your agency and yourself along with them for what you're putting before the love of God, the love of sorts. We all need love from the Father. And the ones who judge others who want to grow and receive, they're being delayed. They're delaying their own healing, their own blessings. They're delayed in some type of way. Not to call them slow, I'm not the one to say that. I am saying they're delaying their higher self from being embraced. They're delaying their birthrights. They're delaying their promises God made to them, to their bloodline. They're delaying their gifts. They're delaying their healing process. Why get in the way of all of that for so many people? Do you know how many curses is coming for you? Do you know how much wrath is coming for you? For first of all, try to be so important and egotistic and prideful and important that you want to replace the works of God. But you're missing the Father's love within. No one really can know how to love and respect someone else without having the Father's love, for real. If you can help others and you don't know the Father's love, you come off artificial as hell. Like a robot. You wasn't made to be a robot. But you so consumed with your job. You so consumed with status. You so consumed with, I have to prove this person to be wrong. I have to be over them. You're not my Father. You're not God to me. You need God just like I do. You need God just like I do. And with all this rejection, it lets me know something's powerful and great that God has for me. I'm not letting nobody and none of your flying monkeys stop me. I don't care. I don't care. They can reject me all day. They can, try to manipulate me, try to break me. It gets old and it makes you weak. But the same projections or the same destruction that you send out is coming for you. Why won't you remember the love of God? Why won't you remember the love of your Father? Those who receive love from the Father, they don't lack. They don't have insecurities. They don't have doubt. They have fulfillment and real purpose. I had to get that off my chest because it's too many individuals on my plotting and scheming, and I'm still minding my business. It's like they can't respect a no and go mind their own. Remember the love of the Father yourself. When I remember the love of the Father, I remember when I was in horrible atmospheres that wasn't godly. And I experienced the love and the grace of God, the mercy of God. In fact, the very man who I was with, that was a situationship, there was a honey trap, a snake. I seen the grace of God upon him as well. And it just nudged at me, okay, it's time to go. It's time to go. It's been time to go. But hey, this grace and mercy, I'm thankful for it, but it don't match what I receive from God and in this atmosphere. It don't match. It's not what God has for me. Another place where I experienced the love of God, when I was broken many times, especially this past, I want to say almost about 2 years ago, 2.5, almost 3 years ago. Many different environments and places I thought I would never be in. Circumstances I would never thought I'd be in. And I experienced the love of God. I experienced the grace of God. But it's a warning to change and heal. A heavy warning to change and heal. What you think is fulfillment from your flesh, you think you entertaining, it becomes so important that you are obsessed with it and are having idols around it. You can't even have self-control to remove yourself from strongholds overpowering you and overtaking you. It wants to take the place of being first in your life. It wants to take the place of being almost God in your life. Here's a quick way to find out. Does it make room for healing? Does it make room for accountability for anyone and everyone? Does it support righteousness? I had to start asking myself those questions the moment I became serious about putting God first, because there was so much I wasn't pleased with that I got tired of putting other people before myself and not giving what I gave back. What I gave to them wasn't given back to me. It wasn't a high value gift. It was genuine and sincere acts, sincere cares, concerns, being thoughtful, being helpful, not being a snake. But that don't mean I'm going to be abused neither. That don't mean I'm going to let you walk over me neither. That don't mean I'm going to let you beat on me like I am a doormat and you're Mr. Big Shot calling the shots. No, it don't mean that. Ooh, excuse me. The watermelon is working. And a lot of these men have mothers, sisters, daughters. Like, you have women in your family they will act a plum fool if one of their sisters or their daughters or their mom or any female in their bloodline or someone that they care about be treated the way they perform. Oh my gosh. Whew, the watermelon is working, man. Keep your full, but sheesh. Situation, man. Quick. But yes, when you avoid, you run from lessons instead of embracing wisdom, you create trauma, you create karma, you create problems that bring on strongholds in your life. And this is something I had to heal from myself. I'm not speaking on anything that I didn't have to heal from or experience. It's something I had to learn and discover and to know what the real power of healing, what it does. It sets you free. That's what God love does. It set one free. And there's no strings attached. There's no destruction around it. There's no bargains. You know, when you operate out of lust or you receive lust, you get a discounted version of the person who's offering it. You get a discounted version of themselves along with what they offer. It's nothing real. It's all based off of flesh. Lust itself is not fulfilling. A lot of people who operate out of lust, and this is something I had to heal from. This is not something that I'm being judgmental and acting or performing from a high place. No, this is something I had to heal from. Lust, low standards, low boundaries, low or no boundaries. I had to heal from it. because what I was being offered, it wasn't supporting one's value and the person who's offering. And if you sit in it, you sit in the sin long enough, you don't have familiar spirits trying to influence you. You have strongholds that want to mold you into what it wants you to be. To all these men that's operating out of lust, I only want to respect you as God's sons. And that's it. I have nothing for you. Your own disobedience is alarming. And it's giving me an option to choose righteousness or wickedness. And to remember free will. Those who operate out of lust, they have abandonment issues, they have trust issues, they have some type of form of addiction, they have many strongholds and plenty ungodly soul ties. And I don't have to add no names to people because I can put myself in that category on the things I used to participate in. And it hits home because for some of these men, I just be thinking all kind of things like, man, what happened? Not only if they're not connected to my bloodline, maybe they're connected to my ancestors. Maybe we have the similar ancestors that went through similar struggles or had heavy opposition, but we choose to go at war with each other. And for the women as well, we choose to go at war with each other, but we won't heal from so many things and also put God first. Don't just remember God's love on when you go to church or when you repenting or when you experience grace and mercy. Remember his love every day because he's worthy of being first in all our lives. He uses a lot of the time those who are the most wicked. I've seen some people with a profound, large, powerful grace and mercy over their life, their well-being, and things that were important to them. And it used to mind boggled me. It used to bring me into almost a confusion maze, trying to figure out what does God see to give this person this much love but have this much wickedness that they don't even heal from. But I had to look in the mirror and ask myself that the same question. Why do you love me so much? Why do you love all your people so much? Why you have so much grace and mercy even amongst the wicked and the filthy and the foul and the corrupted and the broken? Why is there so much love of God there? Why is there so much grace and mercy we actually are not deserving of? Why? You can sit in your sin long as you want and think it's gonna fulfill you. You're gonna have to cross that bridge one of these days. It gets worse as you get older. It don't get better. The addictions become heavier. The strongholds become more stronger. The idols become more many. I'm not trying to compare myself to no one. I'm not, because that gets me nowhere. But their own wickedness is supporting my call, my choice, my will. It's supporting me discovering my calling, my real identity. They don't know. And I'm not no better than anybody, but I'm saying we all deserve to heal. And we all deserve God's love. And we all deserve the best. And we all deserve to evolve. Your real value is not wrapped around money and your ego and pride and money and that high, unrealistic place on what drugs can bring you. That's not the real you. That's not what you were made for. That's not why God has so much grace and mercy around us. He's knocking at the windows of our heart and asking us, hey, would you heal? Would you discover me? Would you open up and let me in? Because I have better for you. I have greatness for you. And my love doesn't come with distractions. My love doesn't come with destruction. My love doesn't come with strings attached. His love established you. And the main ones who need to be, the ones who need to, is a strong need for men to be established and fulfilled, because living by the flesh is leading them in places in their life they're not supposed to be. God lead you to be first. He created you to lead under your companion and children. But if you're not healing and growing, that makes an impact on your family. That makes an impact on your relationships. That makes an impact on everyone connected to you. That's not even your companion or your seed. And I understand the world will project so much narcissistic ways and tactics and habits that they will have one guarded up to be so wicked and defensive that they forget about their first love. I understand it, but it's not even worth it. Me personally, I'd rather see men respect themselves and heal and grow and walk in their calling. I will not celebrate lust with these men. And I don't care how many come my way. I don't care what they have. I don't care what they look like. I don't care. Oh, what they can say. Oh, this is good about me. I don't care. Green eggs and ham. Sam I am. I don't want it. I know. I'm not bargaining. I'm not selling. No. It took work to heal from my own actions and my own character and my own flaws, along with the standards and the boundaries. And had to discover in each area of my life the love of God. A lot of these same men have powerful gifts, powerful talent, powerful callings, and they sleeping on it. And the same thing that is feeding them, putting money in their pocket, is not really fulfilling them as a man. So they have to operate out of ego to have some type of fulfillment. Oh, but there's greater fulfillment for you from God. Not from no woman, not from no government, not from drugs, not from sex, not from alcohol. God has something for you. Why should we as people at this age and time carry curses of what our forefathers did? And not be fulfilled and healed from it? To say, you know what? I experienced it, but I'm not going to act on what I experienced. I'm going to change. I'm going to heal this. I'm going to treat the opposite sex with respect and dignity. I'm going to treat the same sex with respect and dignity. No matter where they're from. No matter if they're close to God or not. I have made up my mind, and whatever healing works to have to embrace, I'm willing to embrace it, all from the love of the Father. When one's operating out of lust and they thinking one's want that, and it makes you sleep on your real value, man. You entertain by what's in front of you that could be good looking or distraction, but is it bring fulfillment? To the men that's looking at women as, oh, they're looking great, they look like they're great to go to bed with, but is that bring you fulfillment? Stop thinking with your male parts. Does that bring you real fulfillment as a man? And I could reverse that thing and ask myself and even women, when you see a good looking man, does that bring you fulfillment as a woman? It only fulfills the flesh. But we are completely unaware of the curses it brings. The works of the flesh and operating out of lust. Same ones who operate out of lust, they got a lot of diseases. They got a lot of soul ties. I'm saying this because it's gross. It's not something to marvel about. It's gross. You sit in it long enough, you run in contact with people with stronger strongholds than yourself. And you going to bed with them, and you in connections with that. We need to remember our first love, for real. Because he loves us so much, where he wants us to learn from our mistakes and our failures and our flaws. That's the point of the grace and mercy he has over us and around us. But when people try to tell me what I'm going to do with my free will, it's like, oh, hell no. I've been through too much. I suffered too much. You're not God to me. That's when beast mode come out of nowhere. No. You don't tell me what I'm going to answer to. You don't tell me how to live. You don't tell me who to date. You don't tell me where to go. You don't tell me on how to perform, what to do with my life. No. I'm not entertained or gonna fit in the molding of your program. And that's not to the flying monkeys. That's to the ones who paying the flying monkeys. They're not even supposed to be in the role of flying monkeys. I remember when I was homeless. I remember I was on the street. I experienced his grace, his mercy. I remember where I was, oh gosh, it makes me want to vomit. I was in situationships all because I couldn't get in at a homeless shelter. And I was giving my value and work and time away that I can't even get back. And I can't help if others, they still think of me as that state of being. I can't help it, but have nothing to do with it. because my actions are not lined up with those habits and works. That's not my responsibility. Oh my gosh. I remember when oh my gosh, it got so bad. I was sleeping not just at a homeless shelter, the train station. I remember sleeping at the storage unit. It's how bad things got. And I remember all these scenarios and situations. From the situationships, couch hopping, from sleeping on the street to battling my own addictions, dealing with abuse and neglect, so many things that was sent in to break me that I didn't allow to break me. But it led me to look for God in my life. So I went through all those things, and I'd be a fool to entertain anything that remind me of my past or remind me of lessons that I already went through, or they don't give room for accountability and healing. There's no debating, there's no bargaining, there's no discussion that needs or will need to be had. Nothing. I owe God a lot. I owe him to put him first. It's not even being religious. It's just being realistic. I owe him a lot, and I owe him to put him first. One of the honey traps had HIV, and I was not aware of it. That was his grace, but also a warning like hell. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? You're playing with danger. What are you doing? If you are not acknowledging the love of God and want to put him first, you're missing a lot about yourself that you have not discovered. And it's in how God sees you. I respect people's free will. I'm not telling them how to live. But it's a necessity for them to remember their first love. Because everything that they put above it is not going to bring fulfillment. People, things, places, circumstances, situations, status of the world is not going to bring fulfillment. It's going to bring curses that you're not prepared for. It's going to bring all kind of foulness you're not prepared for. And like the prodigal son, in your filth, you remember there's somebody that really does care about you, that travels through time to protect you and cover you, and has deep love for you. So I say this again. I'd rather see these same men heal, grow,